welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Luz Marie and I make videos talking about my debt-free journey. In today's video, I thought I would share a few money mistakes that I have made that led us towards our 6 figures of debt. Let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right into it. Number 1 is not having an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is money that you put aside for unexpected emergencies. If you're new to my channel, my husband and I, in just a short period of a year and a half, we experienced 3 job losses back to back, a medical emergency, and an unexpected cross-country move. All of those factors definitely played a huge role of putting us towards debt. The beginning of our debt-free journey, we did first start with savings for an emergency fund. We have ourselves covered for the first 3 months if we do have another job loss. We're hoping not, but if something like that were to happen, we have the first 3 months covered. When you're trying to figure out your emergency fund, you want to list all your expenses that you have and really pick the most important ones to you. So of course, your home, your utility bill, and what other expense that you have. I included our minimum payments because I didn't want to set ourselves back with that. But if you don't want to include your minimum payments, you can actually call your creditors and let them know that you are experiencing an financial hardship. So they're able to work with you with that. But for us, I wanted to keep paying our minimum payments, so I included that when we were setting up our emergency fund. Number 2, and I actually did a video on this, how we slowly let ourselves into lifestyle creep, which is living paycheck to paycheck. As we were getting promotions and our salaries were increasing, so did our lifestyle expenses. And unfortunately, we were not saving. We were not putting money aside, and when we were hit with unexpected emergencies, we couldn't keep up. But I do recommend, when you do have a bonus, a promotion, pretend that you didn't get that increase and just put that money aside. Number 3 is not having a budget. We never had a budget before. We were just living paycheck to paycheck, not tracking our expenses and not knowing where our money was going. We were sometimes going over budget, and it was just chaos, really. So having a budget, it helped us track our expenses and know if we're coming over budget, and it even helped us become mindful of our money and conscious of our spending. So I highly recommend in starting a basic budget, take your income and subtract all of your expenses and see whether you're coming over or under. And if you're coming under, start knocking out expenses that you don't need. So I highly recommend on getting a budget at the beginning of your debt-free journey. Number 4 is not having sinking funds. We definitely had our fair share of taking vacations, buying electronics without saving first, and just putting that towards credit. Unfortunately, that didn't help with getting out of debt. So definitely start different sinking funds, which is just money that you put aside for different things that you need, whether it's vacations, birthdays, holiday gifts, whatever that you have planned in the future. Just put money aside and start putting those money into those small buckets that you have. Next year, I'm planning on restarting our sinking funds. I did start a sinking fund this year, but I just wanted to put all my focus toward paying off consumer debt, and I just left it like that with our sinking funds. But next year, I do plan on funding our sinking fund, especially for vacation, and I do plan on getting Invisalign. I do want to have that money aside instead of just putting that down on credit. Number 5 is shopping. Not that I had a shopping addiction, but I shopped out of boredom. I shopped like out of impulse, especially during lockdowns 2020. I felt like we did a lot of online shopping because we were just bored with our time and not using our time efficiently doing something else. And I did a lot of shopping and I just didn't like that, and I needed a reset. So this year, 2021, I decided to put myself up for a challenge. I joined the No by Year challenge, and this definitely helped me become mindful of my spending, cut back on my shopping, and put more money down towards debt. I highly recommend everyone to do a challenge, whether it's a short weekend challenge of no spend or a 30-day no spend. I highly recommend this because it resets your shopping habits, like your shopping behavior. You see what triggers you of just buying things that you don't need, and plus you're just like cluttering your house with like stuff that you don't need out of boredom. So I highly recommend that, to grab your accountability partner, join a community, and join a challenge of a No by Year. I do plan on still sticking with the No by Year for next year, but I think I'm gonna do more so of a low by year and not restrict myself that much with the shopping, because I feel like I got this now that I'm more conscious with my spending. I think now I'm also rationalizing of when you buy an item, I'm thinking how long it took me to work for that item, and like, is it worth it? So that's something that definitely helped me with figuring things out. Number 6 is paying the minimum. When I graduated school, the only debt that I had was my student loans. And unfortunately, I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now. And I was just paying the minimum. When I was paying the minimum, I wasn't really putting into anything towards the principal. Majority of my monthly payments was going directly towards interest. Just paying the minimum, it's great because you're not putting yourself into default, you're not putting yourself into the negative, but you're not really doing much of an impact towards any loan payoff that you want to make. Number 7 is not having a plan. At 2019 and 2020, we already were in debt, but we didn't have a plan, and we just felt overwhelmed with this debt, and there was no way that we were gonna get out of it, and we were just stuck with this debt of this credit cards and loans. As soon as we thought of a strategy and we stuck with a plan, we are reaching our financial goal, and that is definitely important, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed with something. You want to have a plan, like your strategies. How are you gonna do it? Number 8 is leaving your job without having a job. Before we were in debt, I did leave a job because I was just not satisfied. I didn't feel that I was progressing. I just didn't feel that job was for me. So I did ended up leaving that, which left us with one household income. Thankfully, this was before kids, but it was not the right move. Sometimes when you leave your job with the intentions of finding a better job, sometimes that could even backfire on you, because you have that necessity that you need to find a job because you have all these bills pending and you have people depending on you on that. Sometimes you'll just grab the first job that you see, and you're not really selective on the jobs that you have because you have that financial pressure on yourself. Also, you don't want to put yourself into debt. You could run through your savings. You could put also financial pressure on your partner because it's just one income, and especially when you don't have any savings. And yeah, that is all my money mistakes that I have made in the past, and hopefully you do not do the same as I did and land yourself into a 6 figures debt. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to continue and follow me my debt-free journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below what money mistakes you have made that led you into debt. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll be checking you out in my next one. Bye.